for B-side 5,
B-side 5.
Yeah, welcome to the Developmental Focus Point. I'm your host, Bo Scarborough, two-time national champion, and with me are my three co-hosts, Alabama legends, Trent Richardson, Blake Sim, Kristen Jones, and we are brought to you by Workspace Solution and Oakmont Financial Partner. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We have two special guests tonight, Terry Grant, Alabama legends, one of the baddest dudes to do it in that backfield. Also, we have Johnny Jackson from JPI Sports in Northport, Alabama, one of the best trainers on this planet to ever step a foot in the gym, Mr. Johnny Jackson. How y'all boys doing tonight?
What's up, fellas? Good, man.
What it do?
Yeah, we got a special person on here. They got a birthday today, Mr. Blake Sim, 6.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to my brother Blake.
Yes, sir. Turn 21, you hear me?
Yeah. How you turn, Blake?
32.
Woo! You catching up? You getting up there, ain't it?
That magic.
You wish that 2 was in front of that 3.
Boy, when I sit here think when I was 23, wee.
You was a bad man, huh?
All right, we ain't gonna talk too much.
That's when you was sitting on that trainer table with that tank top on, them Alabama short, ready to transfer.
Yeah. I was in the stand while they were doing their things. I was in the stand like, I was getting them the bride address.
Yeah. That was the rig.
Little
X. So, man, we're going to go ahead and get started, man. Terry, if you can get some insight on, your little background or your history of what you've been through, if you don't mind.
Man, out of Mississippi, man, where I come from, Lumberton, Mississippi, small little town, man. You spit on it, everybody drown. That's how small we were. Came to Bama and with 06, left in 10. Was on that first national championship team with that 08-09 season, if I'm not mistaken. Kind of then transition now, man, into the training world. I get at a little bit to my boy Johnny Jackson. He kind of put me in position, taught me a lot about pretty much the game, kind of what I'm doing. Training my little nephew now. He played with the Atlanta Falcons, Richard Grant. So I'm out there training him, man, and trying to grab a couple more clientele guys out there and keep my training classes and stuff going to keep myself in position to win, bro.
Right. So what would you tell some of these young guys that, in the 8th grade, they're going into their high school career in this sport world that you didn't know back then that you wish you knew that you know now?
Man, Bo, honestly, don't take this game too serious, man. This game is meant to have fun. It's entertainment. We overdo it. We let our families and friends hype us up, making us think that this game is way more important and bigger than life. You already know the percentage of us that actually make it and the ones that don't. It's way more of us that don't than do. So have fun with it, bro. Don't allow it to put pressure. It took me years and years after the game was over with to actually see that it was over with. If I could have been one of those people that was locked in on something other than just football, I would have been able to bounce back a lot sooner. I had to go through a prison system, sentenced twice in the federal system to actually understand that the game was over with and try not to be something that I was. So, man, to reiterate, bro, have fun with it. Don't allow this game to take over your life and make that think that's who you are. The game is not you. You're just part of a game.
True. Christian, you got a question?
So, the penitentiary. I think a lot of these kids think that's a fairy tale land, especially when you're a sports athlete. And we know we done came across a lot of athletes who have put themselves, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's drugs, whether it's stealing something from the store. Sometimes we get a lot of fame in these college worlds, and depending on where you go, you're almost as big as a professional athlete. So for the athletes and some of the athletes that's in high school, middle school, or whoever, all over, just regular life, just break down how one mistake can really change your life and how you had to take a total 360 path in order to get and learn some of these lessons that some of these kids don't really want to take that path to learn that lesson.
Man, it's instantly, bro. I always heard a wise man learns from other mistakes, and I seen the process of friends, family going to prison. I just never thought it would be me. You kind of put yourself above the law. When you come from where we come from, it's always we cater to. That's what they do. You cater to. It's like a fairy tale world. None of that is the real world situation. So when you actually in the real world and you're trying to figure out who you are, nobody cared that you played at Bama. Nobody cared that you was the top athlete in your town, in the country. All that is out the window when you kind of done with the game. I mean, I was telling Johnny last we talked, you can go back to Bama. I don't care who you are, unless you Mark Ingram, somebody won the Heisman Trophy, first person to ever do it. But nobody even know who you are. So my position, man, and where I come from, it was instant. When you come out of those situations and you've never been to prison, it's a hard transition. When you come from and you cater to and you have to go to prison, people telling you what to do 24/7, telling you when to get up, telling you when to go to sleep, make your bed. It's like being a child all over again. So it's not an easy transition, man. You just have to keep your mind clean. That's why I said if I could have had somebody like the Johnny Jacksons, the people that's telling me, hey, bro, this game is not that serious. You got to kind of take it as it comes. If you make it, you make it. If you don't, have a backup plan, have a degree, have something you can transition into. I had friends that went straight into the oil field after high school, and these guys making $500,000 now because they put themselves in position to win. Like I said, we know how this sport is not designed to actually to make it pro. Everybody ain't gonna make it. That's just part of it. So I had to go through the hard way. But like I said, if you had to actually learn from somebody else's mistake, so you don't have to put yourself through it, bro.
Right.
1,000.
True. Blake, you got something you want to ask him? You or Trent?
I don't have nothing right now.
Man, I ain't got nothing to ask him, man. I want to tell y'all, bro, like I know he talking about Johnny and stuff like that, being, I gotta kind of tell him, the do's and the don'ts. So you wish you would have had him early on, man. But for me, TG was my OG. And I like it was yesterday, man. I think it was Virginia Tech game, man. He was telling me, he was like, hey, stay ready. And it was, it was this supposed to be in TG year. But like he was never selfish about helping somebody out. Like and he showed me the ropes, and bro, that he taught me. I mean, even down to my family, man. I remember, times with my little girls, man. He used to always, make sure I was on top of that. Him and Mike McCoy, Milton, those guys from Mississippi, bro. Like we used to pray together. We used to do so much together, bro. Like we became more than a teammate. Like we became a family. Him, Upchurch, Demetrius Gould. Those guys showed me the way, and they showed me the standard that I need to have within myself. And so, bro, like it was different, man. The especially our room. Our room's tough. Like anybody could have started any given day. And I think about like for real, bro. And TG, and I love you like you my own, like my blood brother, bro. Like before we even talked about this today, like I forgot about that, bro. That the whole, thing going, going to jail and stuff like that, because I don't, I don't hear that. I never could see that, with, any mistake that we have ever made. That's just not, on my mind at all when I talk about Terry Grant. So like the stuff that you did, bro, as a freshman, bro, like pushed me to be me, how I was my freshman. You scored the first time you touched the ball at Alabama. Like, who does that? I don't think nobody have ever done that since. And so, like, looking at that, bro, and thinking about all the stuff I learned from you, bro, like, I can't give you nothing but roses, man. Roses, diamonds, whatever it is. Bro, like, you helped me out a lot, bro. You did something for me that I started my kids, and it's been ingrained in me forever, bro. So I'm always indebted to you, bro. Anytime you need something my way, phone call away, bro, or I know we ain't talking in a while, but it's like, bro, that's big brother to me, man. I'm fanning out it just as much as like I'm happy for my brother, man, just to see you.
Oh yeah, appreciate that, boy.
Mr. Johnny, I know you had some time with Terry Grant and all. He just spoke highly of you. Can you give us a little something on that?
What story you want to hear? I got a whole bunch of stories about him.
Whatever one you want to tell us.
Hey, with Terry Grant, I'll tell y'all what a lot of y'all don't know. Terry Grant is the first athlete that I ever encountered that had over 800 credit score in college. He would pull up.
Hey, Johnny, don't forget Terry Grant for Fort Walton for real, man. Y'all, you know,
I know.
He from that Gulf Coast.
He had an 800 credit score and a Denali. It's okay if I say the right, T.
Man, do your thing. I ain't got nothing to hide no more. I'm done with the federal system.
Oh yeah. So he'll be. So I'm like, this is a brand new Denali, man. He said, yeah, I got good credit. And I think the most expensive car I seen him with, I think it was a Land, not a Range Rover,
Land
but a
Rover.
Land. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I got to do better. What you doing? I'm a struggling trainer at the time, training people on the fields and in the parks. And he pulled up, hey man, I like what you doing. Come on out here, give a lesson. What you doing, TG? It's the question. But anyway, Terry took it with a grain of salt, man. You know, he did his. He learned. He wasn't one of those guys that come out of the system and say, I'm finna do this, I'm finna do that. He didn't want no more part of any of that. Because I remember calling one day, he was locked up. He said, man, he's Johnny, my lowest of my lowest when I was in, was it Yazoo, Mississippi?
Yes, sir. Never forget
And
it.
he said, when he saw them rats coming across his cell, he said, man, this ain't for me, Jay. I said, what you mean rats coming across your cell? He said, man, I'm asleep and be rats crawling by you in your sleep. And I said, yeah, my man gonna get out. He gonna do right. But if everybody know Terry, you know, I ain't going into his situation, but if you know him, like Trent was just saying, you had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
No clue. I mean, he'll be here. You can ask Bo, he'll be here in Tuscaloosa one day, and 30 minutes later or 5 hours later, Bo, they on spring break in Panama City, and he pop up behind Bo. What you doing, boy?
Yeah, I remember. He told me, Johnny, it was like, I remember like it was yesterday. That's something I remember like it was yesterday, man. We in the gym, Christian, and you know, I'm hollering at TG. He telling me that he finna go to Mississippi, and I'm telling him I'm finna go down to Panama to the beach with OJ and Derek, you know. So, you know, we go our separate ways. So I get down there, we go out to the club, and they kicked us out for something that Derek had did. So, you know, we standing outside and Derek and the dude going back and forth. So I just take a seat and I just feel somebody tap on me like, hey, what you doing, boy? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I thought I had smile like, bro, didn't you just say you were going to Mississippi? He all the way down in Panama City. Like,
Terry, what was you doing, man? Come on, Terry, we want to know what was you doing, boy. We don't know nothing about this. For the people who don't know nothing about this,
For my situation,
yes, man.
it started, man, because you know your gifts can be your blessings and your curses, man. And like Jay said, I was real gifted with this credit game. I picked up on it fast. I was 15, 16, picking up on the credit game just from a teacher, lady named Peggy Jasper. She taught me all about credit. Need your credit, you gotta have it. You're gonna need it at some point in your life. Credit is way more powerful than money. So when she taught me that, I'm all in because I want to learn. I'm like, how can anything be more powerful than money at the age of 15? Like that's what we chasing. So when I started learning about the credit game, I just got skilled with banking. I started knowing numbers. I started knowing how to get things. If you got a job, if you got income, you know how to pull from banks. You get what you need when your credit score is at a certain point. So I took that, man, and I basically all my family members from the time I was young. I'm sure everybody know we had all kind of hustlers in the family, drug dealers. We had it all. I was more one of those white collar crime people. So, but my first instance, man, I got a drug charge. I had a half a brick of cocaine I got caught with. And I can't tell the whole story, but I put the police on a high speed on feet. I put them on a.
I know you made it to the house.
Oh yeah, I ran for about 5 hours, bro, on feet, and I ain't get caught. out of Mississippi. So and I got away.
I
Got away
know
about 8
you
months.
did 4.23, whatever you ran.
Oh yeah.
My
Hey,
God,
it was more
5
than the 4.3.
hours.
It was better than the 4.3 with no police out there. Ain't nothing but adrenaline.
Hey Christian, I remember he calling me. He was like, I was like, man, what's going on with you? He was like, man, I was in this thicket, and the only way the dogs can get to me is because I was in these thickets, and these porcupines or whatever was tearing me up. But he said the dogs couldn't get to me because of the thicket I was in, and I was like, what?
Yeah,
Because I mean,
I was hiding in the bushes, and they had like a little all kind of bushes, brother. And the dog had vests on, them police vests. And as the dog lunched, he couldn't get through because of the bushes. It was tying him up. But at the point, like when I take off, I'm so, how you hit that burst, and then everything in you just gone. You just used all your power. So as I hit it and I stopped, I'm like, bro, this the last time. Like I'm gonna get caught if anything was to happen. And that dog, them trees and actually the bushes was around me. That's the only thing that saved me. But man, I went through that, got away, hired up, got a lawyer. The judge really blessed me. By the time I went to court, I was supposed to do 3 years. I've never been in any trouble, so they have basically a little system for first-time offenders where you don't actually get your full time. You actually get, the judge is allowed to actually sentence you himself, and he figure out what you want instead of going by the guidelines. So I got dropped underneath the guidelines. I did 6 months total, the very first sentence, and I got 5-year paper. I wasn't finished. I thought I was a better criminal after that. I don't even know a lot of y'all know, but I got indicted a second time in 2017 on some fraud stuff dealing with prescription pain pills. I thought I was too smart, too slick at the time, man. So I ended up back in the game, dealing with some people with some pills, and got hit on a fraud case picking up pills from a CVS. And that was my second sentence. I got sentenced to 4 years, 5 months on that sentence. I did 3 years time in a year and a halfway house. So, and the rest time was at the halfway house.
Hey, boy, made it out strong out of that, boy. God be the glory, boy.
Oh yeah,
Yes, sir.
it's a blessing.
Telling you.
Yes, sir. Trying to put together a documentary on it now, man. That's why I got kind of giving limited details, because I'm gonna put together a little documentary and bring it out.
Yeah.
Kind of go through that whole day and everything that happened to me at the time.
Yeah, man. We need to see.
You say it to me, bro. Like, cause listening to it, it's just like, bro, like I still can't. That's not, and that's not saying nothing about your personality. It's saying about the person you are. But I still can't see that. Like, only TG I see is that day we was up in that doggone, we was up in a room and we were getting ready to play Old Miss. You remember this, TG? When Burns came in there, you pump motherfuckers, y'all better not let them do nothing to y'all. This and that. Up Church just had the neck surgery. Up Church say, don't get mad at us because they beat you a major apple white ass. And bro went to rolling, bro. And so like, and Martin, like, and TG used to sit by me. So man, we'd be up in there, it'd be all type of stuff going on in that meeting, man. And so like we would like that's the TG I see, and that's the only one I can only ever hear. So it's never been, anything anybody could say anything bad or anything different about your story to me, because your story has always been a blessing to me, because you kept me out of a lot. And when I mean a lot of stuff, and playing as a freshman, like that man kept me out of a lot of stuff, a lot of temptations, and it goes up and down when you come to, you feel like, hey man, I should be playing. And Terry kept that face, that head, that poker face, to where he didn't let nothing bother him, and he always stayed positive. And TG is one of the only guys that I know that really, at the time, he had a job while he was in school, and at the same time he ran track. And it was just like, Nick wasn't letting us do that at that time. Like, he man took his own destiny, bro, and he made something out of it when he seen, okay, I'm not on the field. Guess what I'm finna do? I'm finna do something else, and I'm finna get this degree. And so, like, your work ethic, bro, like it was self-proven to me, like all over Alabama for me.
Right.
Out the gate.
Johnny,
Yeah.
can you speak on some developmental points for us? That I know you deal with a lot of young kids, and I know you see all type of ages from being elementary school to middle school to high school, some college players, and you also have some non-athletic people that work out in your gym. Can you tell us how you develop those guys that's and boys and girls that's coming in there? I know you have to be on different levels and coach different and train them different ways by them being different ages and being in being in middle school and coming to high school. So I'm guessing that there's a difference when you coaching them in that point. So I'm trying to see what's the difference that you're telling the younger kids and the older kids.
Well, I don't really. If you don't mind, can I answer that? But can I ask Terry one question?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
It's like like since all of this stuff happened to you, not including myself, like who's investing in you and like who's pouring life into you. I know a lot of times we don't really give guys a second, a first or a second chance when coming back from a situation like you coming back from. And like I said, like, Trent was saying, I know you as T,
Right.
and I know you a good dude, and you still my guy, and always will be. But I'm just saying, like, who do you look for to invest in you and pour life into you?
Man, it's two people that I'm consistently talking to, man, the most. Johnny, that's you, number one, and Milton. And we constantly
Hilton.
bouncing off each other, trying to make that iron sharpen iron. But man, I go back to it, bro. Like that character point of me, I had to have it coming from where I come from because I was like the first to do it in my small town and where I come from. But saying that, man, we all been to high places. We all seen different things. Being at Bama, you saw, like I said, you was K2. It just shows you how low a person is really willing to get and how low you willing to bottom out. So it can happen to any one of us, man, and it can happen to the kids that's coming up, our kids, the ones that's coming up. So looking at this thing, man, and not being and conditioning them to actually just football, man, we got to mentally stay on them about the things that come out of this because we put so much pressure. I had so much pressure on me to do well, to do for my family, that even when I was out the football, I didn't see anything but a quick lifestyle to actually make change for my family because that football money wasn't there anymore. So the only thing that I knew besides football was the streets. Most people going to go back to what they know. So, Johnny, to answer your question, bro, but you and Milton, even my nephew, man, Richard Grant, bro, he poured into me. The dude wise beyond his years. I had to live with him for a while. It took me a while to bounce back, to get on my feet. I'm still not where I want to be. I'm still not even close to that. But every day, I'm waking up, my feet hitting the ground, and I'm running.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Bo, to get back to your question, I think you guys
Just like for an example, like when I came into your gym, right?
Yeah.
Like you used to, well, you still do. Like you still do teach me about a lot of things, and you told me about the University of Alabama before I got there. You taught me how to, use the stuff that I have, and you taught me what to look at, and different type of things, and you taught me how to work out and things that I didn't actually really know, and that you took that time out and to call me in your office and pour.
Oh, I got what you're saying now. I mean, I think every last one of us, if we believe it or not, we all got a ministry. I mean, from Trent, Blake, Christian, Terry, you, me, Justin. I think all of us got a ministry. Obviously, both of my parents. I never thought. Let me get this together. I just lost my dad like November the 12th. And my mom about 9 years ago. And like I always thought a ministry had to be like coming from the church, or you got to come from, you got to be involved with the church somehow, some way. But I really think what we doing is kind of like a ministry, I think the most thing that we have to do is the foundation, Bo. I think if we get a kid at 16, it's almost too late. I think Frederick Douglass is the one that would say it was harder to train kids. It's easier to train a kid than to try to reverse a man from his thinking. So me, and I think it's another, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I think it's another philosophy that says, if you show me a kid at 7 years old, then I'll show you a woman or adult, the same adult they'll be by the time they're 7. Yep. So I don't know if y'all ever watched the movie The Matrix. Like, so if I really like this movie for a whole, and you see, I'm kind of going off track here, but if you look at that movie and you look at him when he started to upload everything in his brain, when he got, he learned the karate, he learned how to fly a plane, he didn't know how to do all of that stuff, right?
Right.
So I told Bo this with his son. If you look at a baby, they're looking at everything that we're doing. Every blink, everything that we're doing, they're looking at us. And that baby is going to be just like what we're teaching them. It can't go wrong. They're blinking. Every time they're downloading that, they're downloading everything that we do in life. All right? So by the time that baby get, 3, 7, 6 years old, that baby is pretty much downloading everything that we got going on. And if you got another 8 years, that baby is 15 years old, right? He's set in his ways. It's hard to talk to a 16-year-old and talk to a 3-year-old.
True.
What we making a mistake at, Bo? I think we just forget the foundation. I think we try to make these kids into these super athletes, and they're not ready up here yet mentally. It's an inside out approach. I think we gotta go back to having that inside out approach. And I think with our ministry now, do I just preach all the time and talk about God and Jesus? No, but I think the foundation of it is built on faith. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because I think each and every one of you guys understand that you wouldn't be where you are without faith right now,
Right. True.
But we can't see faith. I can't none of y'all ever told me that you saw faith.
Right.
So what is faith? It's just simply a belief. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like what Cochran used to say, my belief is, look on my board, my belief is stronger than your doubt. So I write that on everything I do. But anyway, I hope I answered your question. I think all of us have a ministry. I think we all have a job to do. I think these young athletes with Instagram and Snapchat and all of the instant gratification, it's also developed them mentally. I don't think they're ready for that. So we got to get back to that born stuff. Right. You know what I mean, Blake? Blake, can I ask you a question?
I'm with you.
Is it when you snap, when you're a quarterback, right? Everybody say the game changes, right?
No, for sure.
But the center got to get you the ball, though, right? Somehow, some way, right?
Yeah. You got to give him the ball. I mean, the play don't start without.
So that's all I try to. That's the kind of philosophy I teach. I mean, I don't really think the game is changing. I think the people that's playing the game has changed.
I
agree. So this lady said, thank you for being transparent, Terry. As a middle school teacher, I wish my student can hear your story. So and then
I'll be happy to tell it. Tell her reach out to you and me, find her somehow, and I'll be happy to tell it. I want to say this too, Bo, to back Johnny. In my youth, I grew up watching the people in my household sell drugs. So no matter how I came and transitioned out of that, once football grabbed me, no matter how I transitioned out of it and got going in my life where I went to, I was still programmed as a kid to go back to what I knew. We talking about years and years ago. So what Johnny's saying actually makes complete sense to me because that's what I knew. I'm like, this is what I know. This is the quickest way to get to it. So we just got to be aware of what we doing in front of our kids and how we're approaching that situation.
Yeah, I definitely, and not to cut you off, T, but I mean, shoot, before I got to Bama, I had 2 kids. So, of course, it wasn't just playing no football for me. I definitely had to do more than that. I done sold drugs before. I've seen my brothers do it. I've seen my whole family do it. So that's what I knew. That was the lane. And so, and good thing I had a brother that was in school and I had another guy, brother, that was, that was going down that lane, and he told me this ain't for you. We ain't doing that. It's a whole different path for you. And at the time though, like, hey, I got a kid. Like, I see y'all doing this, so what I supposed to do? Like, and it was hard to work, not being able to walk for 2 years. And so,
Right.
like, that's, like, you done been home with me. It's all around, and so, and it's crazy, man, because it's I've had my sons in the weight room and training since they was 4. And I let them dibble and dab with it, but they take it a lot more serious now, especially my oldest son. But I had them in there for a reason, because like you said, Johnny, like it's hard to train a 16-year-old, and when you're stuck in your ways about something, you've been taught something your whole life. I mean, that's just like telling Tebow how the NFL gonna try to switch Tebow throwing on how he throw the ball. Like, I mean, when last time Tiger Woods won a Masters? I mean, before he straightened out his swing, he was good from what we know, and it was working for him. And so it's just hard to teach certain stuff. When you get, I ain't saying just at 16, but when you get a certain age, when you've been doing something for so long, like, it was hard for me when they made that the crown rule, they call it the Trent Richardson rule, not to lead with your helmet, but that's from what I knew, to run people over, and that's how I knew how to run people over. Like, I wasn't trying to lead with the crown, but that's what I knew. But to go back to that question, bro, like, that's, I mean, you're a product of your environment, bro, from when you grow up, and so I get it, man. You hit home right there, Johnny. You say, well, you might know a little something, Johnny.
Hey, we got a question for Blake. As a quarterback, did you feel pressure when you took the field at the beginning of the game? What was it like?
It wasn't really no pressure, you know what I'm saying? Because I built my confidence from the guys that I play with, knowing they had my back, and with any decision that I made on the field, it came through preparation, coming out there and going through the things, knowing the things that Lane and Coach Saban gave me of key points to look at while I'm at the game, looking at the safety, knowing when to call audibles and stuff. And so I like that pressure. Some people like that pressure. So they know how to intake pressure like that and, turn into a diamond. So I feel.
So, Christian, I know you deal with a lot of kids on a daily basis, from training and being a coach at times. What are you telling your younger kids that you're coaching? From being on the Coach Saban and knowing what being going through the storm and playing in the NFL and the CFL, and you turned out you see how everything is. What are some of the things that you're teaching some of your guys?
Really to find a model, basically what we're talking about, but not so much as us telling them about a direction that we may think they need to take, or something that we think they may need to do, but be more subjected to them looking at other people who have done and tried to do it their way. So I challenge the kids that I coach, and I guess for me beneficial, I don't really train a whole lot of teenagers. I train a lot of little kids, little peewee kids. So the things that I'm instilling is at a very important time of their life. So I try to get them to model and find a model first, and then learn as much as you can about what that model is doing and what you want to do. Don't just say you want to be a doctor. Find out what a doctor do. Know how much they make. You know what I'm saying? The details behind everything, so that you got real life, realistic goals. That's what I tell them to set, realistic goals, stuff that can really happen in real life. You know what I'm saying? Because our kids now, in our generation now that's growing up, you all have kids, so you understand this better than I do. But from what I see and the kids that I'm around, it's a fairy tale land to distract them from what's really going on.
Right.
But the talks have to happen to the point, like, I don't even hear kids even in school. I've subbed in schools, and you don't even hear kids being asked what they want to be when they grow up, because it's almost like you can really do whatever you want to do at any point that you want to do, because there's so much freedom. but freedom without instruction is chaos. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to have some type of instructions. You can't just be idle-minded saying you want to do something and not have a path to get there. So what I try to instill to them is find a model and find structure on how that model do it. If a person did something before you did it, it's a lot of people that did what we do, even us, who the goals that we're trying to set. There's people that's already done it. Right. All we have to do is just tweak it and make it fit our life. So I just try to get them to realize that, you know what I'm saying, you're not going to be that age for that long. You know, kids that young that I train, they from the ages of 8 and 12 years old, and they sometimes live, like I said, in a fantasy fairy tale land, think that they're going to be that age forever, you know, right. But you're not. 2-3 years, you in middle school, another 2-3 years, you in high school. Now we're talking about where you're going to go to school, and it's going to happen just that fast. Right. So I just try to get them to pay attention and see what's going on and not just be caught up in social media for real.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, to touch back on what Terry and you and Johnny said, and also Trent, I don't talk to I don't train kids, but you know, I always have appearances to go talk at high schools. And one of the things that I always say to every group of kids that I go speak to is that everyone is not gonna play a sport when they get older. Everyone is not gonna make it to the pros. I mean, I know some of y'all in here playing because your friend is playing and they telling you to play and you want to play because they're playing. You got to do something that you want to do, because at the end of the day, we're gonna need judges, we're gonna need police officers, we're gonna need teachers, we're gonna need firemen, we're gonna need coaches, we're gonna need it all, because the people that in that position right now is not gonna be there forever. And we're gonna need doctors and nurses. So some of y'all kids that playing this game because of your homeboy playing or because of someone else is playing and making you play, do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, it's only going to be that 1% of high school. And in my high school class, I'm the only one that went to the NFL, and it's been 6 years now, and no one have came out of that went to the pros. So that's one thing that I always tell them, that do something that you want to do, because everyone is not going to play football, or everyone not going to play basketball, even in a pro sport, because it's not going to be your time, and God going to take you somewhere else. And you got to understand that message and take it and run with it and do what you're supposed to do and use your gift that the Lord had given you to do. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that's what I always tell the kid, the group of guys that I go talk to. And it's a question for me. It's do you think the 2016 defense is the greatest defense to not win a national championship, from Nelson Robinson? And I would have to say yes, because we scored at least 10 to 11 times on defense in 2017. We also we were like the number one run stop defense, and you know, we was like top 5 and everything. But I know I see Trent laughing. He probably laughing.
Bro, I ain't said nothing.
But yeah, of course, I'm gonna say that the 2016 defense is the team that the greatest defense that didn't win a national championship, that should have won a national championship, because that's the only defense that scored 11 times in Coach Saban history. So of course I'm gonna say that. But I want to touch on this. These guys that declared for the draft. We all knew that Will and Bryce Young were gonna leave, and we got Brian Branch that came out. We got Tor that came out, and you know, we had a couple guys that come out, join battle, and I wanted to get you guys input on what y'all thought about the guys that declared for the draft that had another year. Even Eli Ricks, he came out. He was a guy that played at LSU and sat out a year and transferred to Alabama. Didn't play much when he got here. Started the Mississippi State game. Played a good game the first game, and I want to say that he helped his draft stock during that time, but I think he's the guy that should have came back and got some more film and showed that he can actually play football and be a great player. And another guy, we had Jordan Battle come out. You know, it was his time. I think that he's a guy that did something for his draft stop, that upped his draft stop. He played a great game, had his interception this game. He was all over the field, flying around, playing freely. Look how he playing injury-free. Great, healthy guy, big body, really to tackle, coming downhill, he can cover as well. So I want to get you guys input on what y'all thought about the guys that came out for the draft in 2023. I'll start with you, Trent.
Are you gonna start with me? Man, I think when it comes to the draft, bro, I feel like people think that just because you played at Alabama, you're going to get picked up. And I'm not saying that's not the case. I think you definitely got a shot because you played at Alabama. But I definitely think that it's a bigger target on your back when you have played at Alabama. They expect you to do this and expect you to do that. And you're not a guy that's going to spend a couple years on the bench, and they expect you to come in and play right now type person. And that's going to always be our target, our pedigree, because of who we are, where we came from, and the expectations and the coach that we do have at Alabama. And so I don't want these kids to get it messed up, man, from the first round to the fourth or to the sixth or to the seventh round. It's a drastic drop, bro, when you go from the first round, even sometimes to the second round. Second round, you can still, but it's a bigger target, and it's not a legit chance that you're going to make that team. And it's hard to get bounced around and go city to city, and you get that black bag. Like, everybody know that black bag is not the bag that you want to have. And so I don't want these kids to take for granted, like, hey, y'all got an extra year, or y'all got another chance to go back and get more degrees, or add more to your college, and like, bro, like, and you got a chance to make some more money with this NIL stuff that y'all have now. Like, you don't have to rush to the league. And I get it, far as you got certain guys like Will, Bryce. Yeah, they, of course, them guys. I even like Battle, but it's some of those guys, bro, that's gonna get to that league, and it's gonna be a world change for them, bro. It's gonna be a third world country for them, and they're not gonna understand it, and they're not gonna get it because it's hard to implement a lot of that stuff in college football.
What you think about what's your input, Blake, on the guys that declared for the draft, and who you think helped their draft stock, and who you think should have stayed or came back?
Man, good luck to them boys. First off, if they feel like they're ready, man, they stay on choice. And I think after this last game playing Kansas State, the safety, number 14, what's his last name?
Brian Branch.
Yeah, I feel like he helped his draft stock a lot just by the plays that he made, and he was letting himself be seen on the camera. He made a lot of great hustle plays. I think Bryce and Will's already spoken for themselves. I think they came in and dominated and showed why they in the position that they're in now. And man, just go out there and just play your best, and go out there ready to listen. Don't go out there ready to turn up and be around everybody and listen to everybody. Find your small circle, stick with them, love them. You know what I'm saying? Do the little small things that you learn from Bama. And you know what I'm saying? Handle your business.
Right. I'm gonna hit this for Jamie 1999. She said he or she guys absolutely love what your guys are doing with the show, love the Bama standard. And I'm gonna flip it over to Christian Jones. What's your input on the draft, the guys that declared?
Well, for me, I just think it's just a different perspective that these guys got to take, because these guys are, I always call it, they're individual LLCs now. They're walking businessmen. And so this is not just about, when we're talking about whether or not we're going to go into the draft, this is totally not really about the school, the institution. It's about the player. Does this move benefit you to put you in a situation to help your family? That's what everything is about. That's why we played this game. We played this game not to, while playing this game, you fall in love with other things about this game. But the ultimate goal is to take care of your family when you're playing this game. All right. So at the end of the day, if you have that opportunity to go and change your life and your family lives, and you're in a situation where you're able to do that. And I'm not even talking about projection. I'm talking about who you think you are, because if I feel like I can come out and help myself and help my family, and I'm being projected as a 4th or 5th round, well, I know I'm going to do everything that I got to do to up that standard or to put myself in a better situation, just like guys who played in the game. But when it comes, what I don't like is guys opting out and they're not first round guys. So if you don't have that, and I respect Bama for having those guys who are first round guys. I mean, we got 2 guys who probably top 3 in the draft who played in the game tremendously. So, I just think it's just not about us being old fashioned and traditional in a way of thinking. It's about us making sure that this kid is putting himself in the best position. And sometimes these kids leaving, I just want to say this, these kids who want to transfer and these kids who want to go and go to the league, sometimes that helps your team for the upcoming season. Okay. Sometimes that open up windows and room for these other guys to be able to exploit their talent and help our team grow. Okay, because everybody harping down on Eli Ricks for making the decision to go. He only played whatever amount of games he played. But for one, if you feel confident to leave, that's his opinion. Like Blake said, that's his opinion, his mindset, his thought process to go out and go into the draft. But we also got other guys in that role who gonna come in and play a big role. So it is what it is. I just think these guys don't need to let outside people, whether that's family, other agents, dictate their decision, because this decision will affect them for the rest of their life.
What's your intake, Johnny Jackson? What do you think about? I don't know if you know the guys that came out or not. What is your input on the guys that declared? I know you right there in Tuscaloosa and have a little bit of insight on what's going on.
I mean, it's just like every other year. Guys make decisions. If I played at Bama and I'm playing for the GOAT, I would just go straight to him and ask him straight up, can you see what all 32 of these coaches, and you've been around for a long time, can you see what my draft status is or whatever? I mean, it ain't really a hard decision to me. I mean, y'all got everything over there. You got the greatest coach in college football history that's probably coached up at one of the greatest coaches in NFL history. So it is not nothing that those guys can't get access to and understand the draft grades, scouts, or whatever, to go simply in there and it's on a piece of paper. Hey, where's my status? Do I need to come back to improve my status, or do I need to leave while my status is hot? So I it's pretty simple if you ask me.
You got to use some resources, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely got to use the resources. Alabama, one of the schools that have the most resources that you can use, and it shouldn't be no reason why that you're not using your resources. You'll have to be one of those one that doesn't have it all. What's your input on TG?
And I don't know a lot of the guys that y'all are speaking on, but my stance on it is, just from where I come from, I got a lot of injuries at Bama. I know how short term this game is. So anytime you can put yourself in position to win, you do it, whether it's for you, your family, whoever. We all know being in the NFL now, your second contract is your best contract. That's when you get your money anyway. So to me, it's not about first round, second round, and trying to make those. It's about going in there, proving yourself, and then getting to the money. That's what most guys are doing now anyway. And I see it way too often that these guys skip over the guys like Johnny Jackson. I think Chris said he was training now, but they skip over the small guys like myself, and they go to these big facilities thinking that's what they got to do because of the pressure. But most of them just need to make a decision based on what they know and what they want. And a lot of them have guys training them all their life, and then they decide to make a change because this agent or that person said they needed to because of what it looked like. Man, do what's best for you and your family at the end of the day. Alabama got enough 5-star. If they can make 6 stars, they'll be getting them. They got enough people coming in there to back whoever leaving up and win an national championship the next year. That's just my view on it.
Yeah, I got you. So we're going to start winding it down here, getting to close it out. I would like to know what you guys have going on and what y'all have coming up, and you can let the people know how they can find y'all and get in touch with you. I'm going to start with you, Christian.
Yeah, man. Like I said last week, man, we got the 7-on-7 low-key ballers, coach and founder and co-founder, me and Blake Sims. And Hunter Sims, Blake's brother. We have our first official practice this Sunday in Tuscaloosa. You can also donate to this organization at money sign UPTX, Up Next Elite Youth Training. And you can also follow our page Low Key Ballers on Twitter, and you can DM me on social media on Instagram at c.jones with 3 S's.
What about you, Blake? I know you get ready to go over there and coach, huh? Here soon, right?
No, man, I'm staying here in Georgia. I feel like it was a better situation for me to stay here and grow as a person, as a coach, and I had developed a lot of relationships at the school that I've been, and they have invested so much in me, and I felt like it was just best for me to stay. And but we got a great thing. We got a new turf field in. We got our second year of our program starting. We had 40 players last year. This year we have 65. So that speaks a lot of volume of our coaching staff and the players that we had this past year, just speaking well of our program. And so that's what I got going on, man. And my daughter, she's showing out. She's doing the thing.
How old
And
is your daughter now?
she's 13, man. She'll be 14 this year.
Time flying.
Man, flying, my boy. I'm talking about
Crazy.
crazy. I'm over here. I was with my mom just a minute ago, and
That's crazy.
Where you go?
That's
got
crazy.
that next year.
That's crazy. Jesus.
Go ahead, Blake.
I almost made it through the show. But no, man, 13, but I turned 14, man, and I'm just enjoying myself, bro. I'm just happy to turn 32, bro, and like have this extended friendship that I got with all y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
I'm not your friend.
on to the next, man. On to the next, man.
Trent, I know you got your roast with TR3 tomorrow night, and I know you do it on Tuesday night. It's our big show nights, and you know it's every day of the week. Can you tell the people a little bit about it?
Yeah, man, Monday through Friday, man. 5 to 7, man. We on every day, weekdays. And shoot, Mondays be a real good show, man. Antonio Lang will be on with us, Reggie Ragland. Reggie Ragland's the co-host. We got 5 or 6 different co-hosts, man. Me and Reggie on there every day. Everybody know Reggie played at Bama. He won the Super Bowl. It's so much I can go on about Reggie, man. But the project came across because I was sitting there. I've been on Jay Barker's show for 2 years, and I was just ready to do my own thing, man. And Jay, gave me a platform and taught me a lot about the game. But I was able to do what we do our way and talk about all sports and talk about everything that's going on in life, man, to help everybody out. Not just guys that's our age, guys that's younger, guys that's older. Everybody want to hear locker room talk and be able to hear what's going on in the world. I had somebody calling. The talks that we do have, shut up, Christian. The talks that we do have on a regular basis, man. People want to know, what's going on, and we don't just talk about football. My bad, fellas. Yeah, but we don't just talk about football, man. We talk about life. We talk about the good and the bad, but we're able to extend that platform for everybody from B-Side 5 plus more. We'll be having Casanova, he come on. We share our love for Auburn, all guys, man. UAB, all platforms in Alabama, man. But we're on 4 different stations right now. That's 95.3, 92.5, FM 1260 AM, 100.9 Tide. We're on Bama Insider. We got our own YouTube channel. And actually, Justin, I'm gonna need some help with that too. I'm glad we on here tonight. But man, there's all type of stuff that I'm doing, man. I'm an athletic director at Irondale Youth Sports, man. So we fit to kick off basketball season with that too. Got a daiquiri shop in Pensacola. We put one in Birmingham called the Chill Spot. So, bro, I'm just trying to move, in different ways right now, man. Son fit to start playing basketball again. Last year, he ended up being number 3 basketball player in the nation. His first year out. So, man, I'm excited. My youngest son get to play this year too. So I'm excited to see both of those guys out there on the court, man, doing it the way they can, man, and having fun, man. So it's all type of stuff, man. But y'all tune in Monday through Friday, man. Blake is on there 3 days a week. Bo is on there every Thursday, man. So we having fun. Tuesdays be the big shows. We all on there. It's me, Antonio Langham, Funny Man, Blake's on there, Mike McCoy, and myself. So, but we have fun, bro. We definitely do it big, and we laugh with it. And so, anytime y'all want to come on board, man, we trying to get Coach Jones on there too, whenever he get ready, man. So y'all, look, Johnny, we
Get that
want you on
shit
there.
right, baby. We'll get to him. I email him. Get that money right. He ain't answering no email. Let that money right, baby.
This man ain't even got an email. He's still on Black Planet. So we good. Whenever you ready, baby, we here.
Get the money right.
Well, you got a lot going on, Trent.
I tell you.
What about you?
Busy,
what about you?
I love
what
it.
about you, Mr. Jackson?
Well, same old thing, man. Just trying to live my purpose in these, telling these kids and laying that foundation, my process and laying the roots down so, the next generation can lead, man. And just big thanks to Trent, Blake, Christian, and you, Bo, but especially T. Grant. I want to take a minute to brag on him, just coming from where he came from and doing the things that he's doing. Not to get down one time, not to get down 2 times, but to bounce back like he's doing. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, a lot of people don't get that first and that second chance, and we all know that. So we take a lot of things for granted as men, but, the more we mature and we get older, you think about all the dumb decisions that we made, that when people was trying to tell us not to do those things, and we still did them anyway. I think y'all doing a great thing with the show. And T, just want to tell you, man, I'm proud of you. I don't want you to cry or nothing on this show. But I did tell you and Christian, y'all looking like y'all got them speed heads, like y'all them 4-3 heads. But yeah, man. So if your kids watch this show, I clocked Terry Grant when I was at Bama, like at a 4.23, and I didn't use, I didn't want him to use that speed to to jump that high fence like he had to jump. But y'all can read about that in the documentary. But a good guy. So I just want to tell you, man, I commend you, and to you to come on here and be vulnerable like that and tell your story and not be ashamed of it and stand proud. Even though that's your past, you know what I mean, and don't have any regrets because you won't be the guy who you are today. So a lot of people are ashamed of that. I commend you for coming on this show, and to all of these people that's watching and saying your story and saying it with proud. And you're not, even though you can't go back and change anything, you can change the path that, for the future. So, and I appreciate you guys, even though I didn't play at Bama, I appreciate you guys letting this volunteer intern be among you greats. So you know what they say, if you can't be in the room, you can't be on the stage with the people that's talking, get in the room and serve water. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys for letting me on here. And if y'all need me, you know where I'm at. I'm a phone call away, man.
Yeah, TG, tell the people how they can find you and what you got going on and what you got coming up.
Man, I'm kind of antiquated when it comes to this social media stuff, but my New Life Fitness page, man, I kind of neglected it, so I'm getting that back up and running. I'm partner twin. I've been talking to Johnny about doing some collaboration stuff with him. I'm out in Beaufort, Georgia right now for kind of like the people that want to train or do anything on the side. especially when the season end of NFL and we can get back to business for off season. But yeah, man, I appreciate it too for y'all boys having me on this show. It's good to see all y'all boys, like, man, especially I talk to Bo quite often, but T. Jones, Blake, Trent, I don't talk to y'all guys a lot, man. So it's good to y'all. And Johnny, man, just piggyback on what you said, man. My vulnerability is just for the ones that's coming out there because they coming, whether it's your son or whoever else got kids that's coming behind you. I got nieces and nephews that's following. So if we can't be real to them, we can't be real to ourselves. So that's kind of why I'm opening it up to tell them my story at this point. But I do appreciate it both for inviting me on the show, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all boys for coming on here tonight, man. And that'll do it for us. Thank you guys, and roll tide.
Roll Tide.
Real tired.